Hey Sketch, we were watching some more Ranking the Kings and it brought up a great question into mind. What are some of, other than Ranking the Kings, of the most memorable training arcs that you've seen?
For me personally, it would be Naruto. Kakashi training Naruto how to better use his elemental release for the Rasen Shuriken, because it's a training technique that really only Naruto can use.
So like the fact that it was unique, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't like every other training arc where it's the Rocky montage and he's just going at it, you know what I mean?
yeah. It was a training method that was specifically meant for Naruto, and it's something that's very tied to his character because really, most of Naruto's character is spamming shadow clones.
The one that always comes to mind is Goku going to Namek.
Mm-hmm.
There's a set amount of time that he gets to train. He has a gravity chamber on the ship pod, and I think he stole this idea from the Kai planet. He's like, I want one of these because you know, greater gravity equals greater strength. It's better than weighted clothing because you can only add so much weight. So now he's adding gravity to his training, and he's doing a bunch of push-ups, and we get to see him working out on this tiny ship, and gives us like this, like, oh, Goku's coming feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that leads us to this episode where we get to see two different routes to becoming stronger, right? We in the B plot we get to see Data becoming stronger in a sense, I guess, or that's what we're expecting, and then we get to see Bojji finally meet Despa and becoming stronger that way. What was a scene that you really liked in this?
When Data is force-fed the potion, the camera really shakes and moves around and zooms around Data in very unsettling ways that really sells the feeling of the scene.
And right there, if you saw quick glimpses, you saw a bunch of blood splatter through the background. You can see the mirror's reflection in there if you go through it slow enough, and it's a really well made scene for like 5 seconds. The scene is a lot longer, but even in those 5 seconds, you see a lot of work put into it.
Yeah, I just really like how the scene is made. It's a very well put together scene. It has some great effects, especially when it zooms into mirror and has that little flash on it.
Yeah, it's really cool because it's a 2D space interacting in a 3D camera sense.
Yes, that's sort of how 2D animation works, buddy. We're trying to sell the illusion of 3D.
Yeah, but you get what I meant, right?
Yes, I know what you mean.
It does a really cool panning effect.
Yes.
Which is, I don't think they use 3D animation for that. I think they hand drew that effect.
You could do 3D to aid with the effect, but you would have to draw over it with 2D. So, other than that mirror scene, what stuck out to you?
I think the Despa character really was a standout. Like, it was his episode in a sense, if you looked at it. We got to learn who he was as a person, and I think that the first scene that he was in really encapsulate what feelings this person gives you throughout the whole episode.
これでは足りませんね。
That man's a liar, a straight up liar. You know what I mean? He looked at that, was excited. You thought how much chunk of change was there? Because, like, if we go back to the shopkeeper when Bojji bought like that one thing, oh no, the puppet master, and he gave him 1 gold coin, the guy was like raving in excitement. He was so surprised that one of the kids dropped a gold coin in his box.
Yeah.
But this man has a bag full of, I assume, gold coins, and he's taking advantage of these kids.
Not enough, man. You always gotta fleece them for more.
That's what the salesman says to me. You know, after they bought the premium add-on, that's when you gotta ask them if they want the assurance with it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think this encapsulates Despa's character, as we see in the episode, that he seems like a very unique character in the sense that he's greedy. He says he's modest, and then lists everything he's great at. He says why his brother's jealous of him is because he's a better leader and he's stronger, but also because of his good looks. And then excuses his brother of crying because he's better looking than him.
Yeah.
And you can see why King Despo hates him.
He's not very fond of him at all.
He has a personality to be likable and hateable at the same time. You know what I mean? And then there's other scenes where he pops up where he seems like a fraud. You know,
Yeah, like
taking extra money was the first step, but go ahead.
you know, when he stumbles back drunk from the bar.
I don't even know if he was drunk or just beat up. Because he seemed pretty clear of mind when he was responding to them. When they called him weak, he gave him a bad shot eye and gave him a look. And then there's other tropes that he does, and they're not the Karate Kid tropes where these chores are lessons. It just feels like he's having Bojji clean the house for him. He wants Kage to make the food because he doesn't want to die to Bojji's cooking, and he's already took a bunch of money from him. There's a lot of things not adding in his favor, but then at the end of the episode, we have this amazing scene that we'll go over later. But it's just like, is he real? Is he not? There's that question in mind, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then going back to you, was there another training scene in this arc that you really liked?
I mean, in this scene, Daisha helps Bojji get stronger, and we learned through this episode that Bojji can't really get stronger through his strength alone because there is no strength to actually increase. So, Despa's solution is to give Bojji a weapon. And now we get to see Bojji choose his own weapon.
Right, and before he chooses, he looks at previous weapons he's held, and you see the amazing scene. You see the flashback in the sword, but we don't get to see the weapon, but we get to see this amazing scene.
そうですね。あなたにぴったりだ。さあ、これであなたには誰もかなわなくなる。
So what is this sword that is perfect for him, or this axe, or this tool, right? Do you have any guesses?
No, I would say it's a rapier of some kind.
For anyone that doesn't know, a rapier is a very thin, long sword. I'm assuming you meant long comparative to Bojji, not actually long.
Yeah, a rapier as a small thrust-oriented sword.
I'm gonna go with a toothpick. I truly believe a toothpick would fit perfectly, would have no weight problems with it. How will he use it in combat? No idea. My second guess, since it always seems like this is a David versus Goliath kind of scenario with whoever Bojji decides to fight, he might go with the slingshot.
I mean, slings are pretty powerful weapons.
Yeah, but he has no physical strength, so
you don't. I guess you do kind of need a little bit of strength to use a sling.
But he does have agility, so maybe he spins fast enough and momentum creates it. But I'm pretty sure we'll find out next episode or the episode after what weapon he chooses. But that leads into the next one, which I think you were really excited about. This scene was with the scene with the crows, right?
I thought it was a really neat scene that we see that Bojji's still training how to, because we've seen Bojji dodge a variety of attacks so far. The standout being the spear thrust from the underworld captain. But we see that Bojji's still trying to get better at dodging, so.
This scene also does a great 3D effect where that last crow flies by, the camera slightly pans, and you get to see a little turn and the bird flies past.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty effective, it was a nice and effective scene just to show that, hey, Bojji's still training.
Yeah, and it also shows an overall training arc of endurance as well.
Mm-hmm.
Gives him that Rocky scene where he's running. Right, and as we know before, Bojji and Kage are not the most endurance strong people.
Not really, no.
But after this training arc, they might be.
Yeah.
Or at least Bojji be.
Bojji might be. Kage spending most of his time being a maid.
But at the same time, that takes a lot of endurance. You know, cooking, cleaning, pulling Bojji to bed, throwing him onto bed. You know, I mean, he doesn't weigh a lot, but it still work.
Yeah. Anyway, there was a scene that you in particular liked, did you not?
I did, and this is the end credit scene where we see the episode close out, and it leaves us with a big mystery.
大丈夫ですよ。問題ありません。 ええ
So still no idea what Bojji's weapon is. No idea why that rock's broken. We, like Kage, are not in the known. We don't know what happened, and we just get to see the door open. We get to see maybe Bojji's fruits come to fruition. Maybe not.
Yeah, he had a bit of a Tanjiro moment. He was able to cut the boulder in half.
Yeah. In a week's time.
Yeah.
Right? So it just leaves what is going to happen in the next episode.
Yeah, what's his weapon? What? Yeah, because he managed an amazing feat of strength for someone who is stated to have no actual strength himself.
Assuming it was Bojji that did it.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what happened or how it happened. We just saw a broken rock. Right? And, in most anime arcs and most anime assumptions, like in Demon Slayer, we assume he broke the rock. But the rock could have broken in other ways. Like, he could have just fell. It could have just been another dodging practice.
Potentially, who knows?
Because there's a loud thud, but we don't know. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Is there anything else you wanted to tell him?
No. Have a good day, you guys.